They noticed it before. You enter a room, and something shifts. The laughter quiets down. Smiles become forced. Conversations suddenly trail off mid-sentence. It's not because you've done anything wrong. You're not being rude or arrogant. It's just something about you. An invisible intensity that people can't quite name, but definitely can to ignore. Throughout your life, you've heard the comments. Why so serious? You think too much. You're too intense. But what if the real truth is that you're not too much at all? What if, as Carl Jung believed, your presence carries something powerful? Not a mystical aura with colorful lights, but a psychological force. A silent energy that challenges others without you saying a single word? Here's the reality. People aren't afraid of you. They're afraid of what they see in themselves when they around you. Your presence reflects their own hidden insecurities, buried fears, and the masks they wear daily. That is why they pull back. They avoid. They whisper. They make themselves smaller when you nearby. It's not because you pose any danger. It's because your energy radiates honesty. And genuine honesty unsettles those who have built their lives around pretending. Carl Jung dedicated his career to studying this phenomenon, the psychic energy that flows from individuals who have faced their shadow selves and stepped fully into their authentic nature. Below are the 13 signs your inner energy might be silently overwhelming to others, not because there's something wrong with you, but because you rare. And in a world addicted to comfort, rare energy makes people uncomfortable. Understanding your psychological aura, most think of auras as spiritual concepts, colorful halos surrounding the body. But Jung saw them differently, with much more psychological depth. For Jung, your aura wasn't made of light but energy, not the measurable kind, but the kind others can feel. He believed everyone radiates a subtle yet powerful field of psychic energy shaped by your thoughts, emotions, and especially your unconscious mind. This energy communicates before you even speak. It is present in how you carry yourself into a space, how people respond to you without knowing why, and the atmosphere you create just by being there. Jung called this phenomenon the unconscious transmission of the self. It originates from parts of yourself that most people ignore or suppress: your shadow, your pain, your fundamental truth. As you confront these hidden aspects, your energy transforms. You begin to carry a different kind of presence, one not formed by social expectations or seeking approval, but by self-awareness, depth, and inner alignment. People sense this difference, even if they can explain it. They feel it in how your eyes hold emotion, in your comfortable silence, in the quiet intensity of your gaze. Jung believed this type of aura could unconsciously trigger others, not because you were doing anything wrong, but because your energy exposes what they spent their lives trying to hide, their insecurities, fears, and false personas. This explains why people might keep their distance, why they might misunderstand you, why they might feel intimidated even when you read gentle and kind. Your aura, the energy of your authentic self, speaks directly to their unconscious. Not everyone is ready for that conversation. Understanding this concept is central to Jung's teachings. We aren't just physical bodies and minds. We are fields of psychic influence, living symbols, walking mirrors. And the more honest you become with yourself, the more intense your presence becomes to others. Sign number 1. People say you too intense. Even when you simply being honest, you speak from somewhere deeper, not to impress or dominate, but to genuinely connect. Yet somehow, your words always seem to go further than others expect. When everyone else is discussing surface-level topics, you naturally dive into questions about purpose, meaning, and authentic experience. What others don't understand is that you are not trying to be deep or philosophical. You are just being real. Small talk feels exhausting because it requires putting on a mask you worked hard to remove. You give voice to what others leave unspoken. You bring to light what people keep in shadows. You introduce truth into places built on comfortable illusions, and it makes folks uneasy around you. They label you as too serious, too much, or too deep. But what they really saying is, you make me confront feelings I'm not prepared to deal with. Carl Jung recognized that certain individuals carry a special energy that awakens dormant parts in others. When you read near them, they can avoid facing honest truths about themselves, about reality, about the carefully constructed personas they created. So when you open your mouth, it's not just simple words flowing out. It is genuine energy, real presence, authentic depth. And for those who only exist on life, surface levels, that feels like danger. Your intensity isn't about being aggressive or trying to seem superior. It's raw emotional honesty, and hardly anyone can receive it without pulling back. When you in the middle of shallow conversations, you feel it instantly, that empty, artificial energy of surface level exchanges. How is the weather? What? This is your job? Did you catch that show yesterday? You not impolite, you do your best to participate. You nod, smile, answer questions, but something deep inside you resists going along with it. Jung understood that people strongly connected to their inner selves naturally feel pushed away by anything fake. Small talk usually works as protection, a way to avoid true human connection. During these conversations, your natural energy sends out a different message. This isn't meaningful. Can we discuss something that truly matters? But that energy disrupts the normal social patterns. It breaks through the comfortable pretending that everyone else maintains. People can sense your resistance, even when you never mention it out loud. They might see you as standoffish, unfriendly, or antisocial. The simple truth is that your soul is craving something real, and your presence makes that hunger visible. Complete strangers share their deepest problems with you. Friends turn to you during their worst moments. People have called you their unofficial therapist more times than you can count, though you never ask for this responsibility. This pattern isn't coincidental. Jung believed some individuals naturally embody the healer archetype, regardless of their actual career. Your presence radiates depth, stillness, and emotional safety. People instinctively feel they can be vulnerable with you, even when they barely know you. But here is the painful contradiction. You rarely experience the same openness coming back to you. You listen carefully, you create safe space, you absorb other people's emotional pain, but almost no one asks how you truly feeling. This creates a unique kind of loneliness, being surrounded by deep emotions while starving for genuine connection yourself. Your presence might draw in those who are hurting, but it also frightens away those who fear facing their own inner darkness. When you enter a room, you notice it immediately. People shift uncomfortably. They glance toward you, then quickly look elsewhere. Their voices get quieter. They act differently. It's subtle but impossible to miss. Sometimes they avoid you altogether. Other times they stare like they trying to figure out a puzzle, but remain silent. Carl Jung taught that when they integrated parts of yourself that others deny in themselves, you unconsciously mirror what they suppressed. Your eye contact becomes more than just social interaction. When your eyes connect with someone else, it turns into more than just looking at each other. It becomes a soul-level encounter. They aren't simply seeing your physical self. They seeing their own reflection through you. When they aren't ready to face that honest mirror, they back away. They retreat emotionally. They might label you as too intense, even when you were being completely friendly. Your very presence demands truthfulness, not because you ask for it out loud, but because your inner energy speaks before your words ever do. They notice this pattern. You sitting quietly, doing absolutely nothing unusual. Yet somehow, someone nearby has a strong reaction. They suddenly get defensive, irritated, or oddly cold toward you. And you're left wondering, what exactly did I do wrong? Carl Jung found that when someone carries powerful, well-integrated inner energy, it naturally disrupts the hidden parts in people around them, especially those avoiding certain aspects of themselves. Your mere presence acts like a mirror. Others see shadows of themselves reflected back through you, parts they desperately try to ignore. Their hidden insecurities, their buried shame, their unacknowledged jealousy. You don't have to say anything at all. Your energy communicates everything. This is the quiet power of a developed psychological aura. You never need to fight for attention because your simple existence challenges others to confront their true selves. Most people don't like what that mirror shows them. They've never been able to stand fake behavior, the forced laughter at parties, the shallow social masks people wear, the endless performance of being someone you're not. You detect it immediately. You feel the falseness in your gut before your mind even processes it consciously. This sensitivity isn't about judging others. It's pure perception. Jung believed when someone has integrated their shadow, those dark, rejected traits we all have, they develop what he called psychological wholeness. This gives them a natural ability to sense fragmentation and dishonesty in others. So when you around someone putting on an act or pretending to be something they not, your energy sends a silent message. You can drop the performance. I already see who you really are. Most people aren't prepared for that level of seeing. They might get nervous around you, become overly defensive, or simply label you as too intense and keep their distance. Not because you actively expose them, but because your natural energy makes their illusions impossible to maintain. You ask questions others avoid. You challenge common assumptions. You refuse to accept normal just because it is what everyone does. Because of this, people often second-guess themselves when you around. They get flustered mid-sentence. They doubt what they saying. They try to explain things they normally wouldn't even think twice about. This isn't about you being arrogant. It is not manipulation or a power play. It is the natural weight of your inner clarity. Jung explained that when someone embodies deep self-awareness, they become a living contradiction to what the majority accepts without question. Your clarity naturally exposes confusion in others. Your calmness reveals their hidden anxiety. Your self-trust highlights their self-doubt. You don't need to argue your points. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Simply being who you are is enough to shake other people. It's false certainty. And in a world addicted to ego validation and surface-level approval, that quiet authenticity makes you subtly dangerous to the status quo. Sign number 8. People open their hearts to you, then suddenly disappear. You've experienced it many times. Someone shares their deepest thoughts with you. They tell you that you understand them better than anyone else has. For a little while, it feels like they made a true connection. Then out of nowhere, they go silent. They stop reaching out. They become distant, and you're left thinking, what did I do wrong? This emotional back and forth isn't your fault. It is their inner shadow at work. Jung explained that when a person feels genuinely seen, not just complimented, but understood at their deepest level, it wakes up parts of themselves they've been avoiding for years. Your natural energy didn't harm them. It simply revealed their truth. And that can feel scary for someone who isn't ready to face their pain, past trauma, or deeper reality. So they pull away. Not because you made a mistake, but because without even trying, you opened a door they weren't prepared to walk through. You didn't damage the connection. You made it too authentic for them to handle. Sign number 9. You intimidate people without even trying. Especially those in charge. You enter a room and something shifts in the power balance. Your supervisor gets defensive for no reason. That usually loud, controlling person suddenly gets quieter. People who normally dominate conversations start stumbling over their words. You didn't actually do anything, but your energy communicates. I can be easily controlled or manipulated. Jung believed that people who have connected with their inner power, what he called the inner king or queen archetype, naturally radiate a quiet kind of authority. It doesn't shout. It doesn't need to show off. It simply exists, and that type of presence threatens anyone who builds their identity on controlling others. You might notice that authority figures either deeply respect you or subtly resent you. Because without saying anything out loud, your energy sends a clear message. They have power over me. For those who depend on fear or status to maintain control, that is the most unsettling message they could receive. Sign number 10. You enter someone's life with kindness and honesty, yet become their villain. You approach relationships with openness, honesty, and no hidden agenda. Yet somehow, you end up becoming the bad guy in their personal story. They accuse you of being arrogant, cold, too intense, or too emotional. They twist your quiet moments into judgment, your healthy self-respect into ego, your need for alone time into rejection of them. This isn't about you at all. It's about projection, a concept Carl Jung highlighted as one of the most dangerous blind spots in human relationships. When people refuse to face their own flaws and weaknesses, they unconsciously project them onto others. And people with strong auras, deep, developed, Spiritually connected auras become the perfect screen for these projections. Because your presence reflects what they were trying so hard to hide from themselves. You didn't. They actually become the villain. You simply refused to play the victim. And that completely disrupted the story they were telling themselves. Sign number 11. Strangers feel pulled toward you without understanding why. It happens in grocery store lines, at airports, in waiting rooms. A complete stranger starts talking to you deeply. They share something personal. They say, do you know why I'm telling you this? There's no small talk, just raw emotion, like they've been waiting their whole life for someone like you to appear. Jung believed certain individuals carry what he called numinous energy. It is not simple charisma. It is not surface-level charm. It's the gravity of your soul. People sense it instinctively. They understand what they re-feeling, but around you they feel safe, seen, drawn towards something ancient and meaningful. Your aura functions like a quiet spiritual lighthouse. Even if you are not religious, even if you are not actively seeking spiritual connection, your inner self radiates something profound. Others, especially those who are lost, hurting, or searching, will feel it like a silent calling they can to explain. Sign number 12. You can sense the energy of a room the moment you walk in. You step through a doorway, and within seconds, it doesn't feel right. You detect tension nobody is talking about. You pick up on hidden resentment. You notice the fake smiles and forced politeness before anyone speaks a word. To others, it looks like you have some kind of sixth sense. But really, it is your highly developed psychological awareness. Carl Jung described this as psychological intuition, the unconscious intelligence that works beneath logical thinking and language. You need long explanations. You feel truth directly. You sense when someone is being dishonest. You just observe the energy around you. You absorb it like a sponge. The blessing and curse of spiritual awareness. Being spiritually aware is both a gift and a challenge. You tap into layers of life most people never access, but that same sensitivity can leave you overwhelmed by others' energies. Your energy field acts like a powerful antenna, picking up emotions, moods, and signals that others aren't even aware they're broadcasting. Without boundaries, you might carry emotional weight that was never yours. Sign number 13. You've always felt like you don't belong. There's a deep, unshakable sense of being different. Even in crowds, with friends or family, something always feels slightly out of place. Like you were born with ancient wisdom in a world obsessed with appearances. Carl Jung believed some people are called by their deeper selves toward growth and transformation. These people often live on the edges, questioning what others accept. Your presence carries an energy that feels unfamiliar to many, mysterious, deep, authentic. Some people are drawn to it, others are disturbed. Without saying a word, you stir something in them. It's not personal, it's spiritual. Jung said we all have a shadow side, parts of ourselves we avoid. When your integrated, honest energy enters a room, it can trigger those shadows in others. And instead of being inspired, they become uncomfortable. Why people react to you were not too intense. You were simply real. And realness forces others to confront what they've buried. Our culture praises fitting in and staying agreeable. So when someone arrives with soul-level stillness, it breaks the script. It creates emotional dissonance. People sense truth in you, but it's not truth they're ready for. So they reject it. The gift and solitude of your energy, Jung said, the privilege of life is to become who you truly are. But that path is rarely crowded. It is full of solitude and misunderstanding. Your energy reflects inner work, not superiority, but wholeness. And wholeness is rare. So if you've ever been told you're too much, remember, you're not the problem. You're a mirror. You feel what others can't. You notice what they ignore. And while that can be lonely, it's also powerful, because your presence is a signal, a quiet invitation to awaken. Don't dim your light. Don't shrink your truth. You're not here to make others comfortable. You're here to shine. Carl Jung believed our presence reflects what others hide. What truth do you think people see in you? If you found this video useful, please like it and subscribe to the channel. There are more videos on this channel that will help you become a better version of yourself.